going on, guys? MDLP from the Battle Axe, the Strongman Gym in Miami, where strength is everything. I have not made a video in a long time, and this is not a New Year's resolution. I say the same shit every time I make a new video, but I'm gonna be on point. Charge the GoPro and everything. So I think what I wanted to make this video about is basically being a quote-unquote older athlete in your sport. And I know I'll probably catch some flack and you know, the age doesn't matter and blah blah blah, and I think that's mostly bullshit. I've seen a lot of incredible records and winners come in the 30s and even 40s, late 20s. It's not too old, but I think that those things are important to consider as not only extremely hard work, but what I would call smart work. And obviously some genetic prowess. You can't say that they're not, you know, genetics plays a part, you know, in your 30s and 40s as far as continuing to being a badass. There's two types of people currently, and I would say I'm speaking in the sense of strongman, but powerlifting is not far behind. You know, what you're seeing a lot now is a lot of these guys in their 20s, fuck you guys, but just general badasses, you know, not only clean and guys on drugs and natural, whatever. It doesn't really matter. When you're in your 20s, early 20s, it's incredible. I'm not really taking away any of their hard work or anything like that, because the first thing you do in your 20s is fuck up in life. So if you're in your early 20s and you're a really good athlete, congratulations. When I go to a lot of these competitions, most of the guys that are either top level or fighting for the top 5, top 10 or podium, 23, 24, 21, and I'm 31 years old. Now look, I get it, relax. I don't think I'm that old, but in a sport of strength or a performance sport, 30s is typically you're old, whether it's football, soccer, rugby, anything in your 30s except maybe golf. It's not really a sport, it's a game. Relax, don't get mad. That kind of stuff is a big deal to me. So I guess this is just a more a venting kind of situation, or what my experiences have become is when I get older in the sport. Now when I was in Muay Thai and started powerlifting, I was in my mid-20s, and I seemed to recover a lot faster. Things were a lot better, all that stuff. I think the biggest thing that I can take out of being somebody who's a little bit older in the sport, I guess, and I keep saying I guess and kind of like halfway thoughts, is because I don't necessarily think that my point of view is going to be either accepted or that it's, you know, I think most people in their 30s don't want to accept that they're kind of old for what they do, and they're going to get grumpy. So, I mean, whatever. But what ends up happening is that when you get older, you need to rest more, you need to just train smarter. And that's something that I've had a lot of difficulty with. Because most of the time in my 20s, I've been able to muscle through anything. Whether it's tears, injuries, back injuries, everything. And I'm not really thinking about or compounding all the fact that I've been literally training for just sports in general for 8 years. And that's nothing compared to some guys who have been doing it for 15, 20, and 30 years. So I'll take that stuff into consideration. So what I end up doing now is listening, the whole term of listening to your body and all that shit, it really makes a lot of sense a little bit later in your life, so that you're not necessarily just crashing through everything. Because no matter what you take or what you do, your body's been through a lot of trauma if you've been doing competitive sports for even 5 years. They say a lot of NFL guys, especially certain positions, their body ages about 7 years per year in the NFL. So you can imagine most of those guys in their 40s are limping around, or if they try to do anything, they always get hurt. Not all of them, but some of them. Most of them. So I guess my advice is I'm not giving the old man speech, but to be mindful. Now, if you're in your early 20s and you want to be fucking great at something, do what you need to do, man. I'm not even going to lecture you, because that's how I used to train. And when you get in your 30s, you're worried about it then. I'm not worried about my 40s. I'm not worried about my 50s and my 60s. I'm worried about being great in my 30s. I started strongman around 28, 27, late 20s. I'm now in my early 30s, and I know plenty of motherfuckers. Most of the guys that I train with are in their early 30s, and they're fucking phenomenal. They do exactly what works for them. They know when to stop. They know when to listen to their bodies. They know when to leave an injury alone, when to rehab, when to take. You'll see a lot of guys, man. Look at Instagram. Look at your social media. Dudes just disappear for like 3 months. They post like once a day, and it's a fucking meal, or post pictures of some motivational speech. It's probably because they're not training as hard anymore or at all, because their body can't withstand that. Suddenly, after 3 or 4 months, they come back. For whatever reasons, they're coming back slowly. And I think that you have to take in consideration, I've been saying take into consideration a lot, when you're in your early 30s, that you have been training for a long time, that you have an incredible base, a long, steady base of training that will pick back up. Ooh, cops behind me. Probably an accident. So I would say that the thing you have to consider the most is that when you come back, you're not going to be fucking shell-shocked. You're not going to be a piece of shit. Somebody's in trouble. No, hope there's not an accident. Hope everybody's safe. I'm going to be a dick about that. But anywho, wow, GoPro in the middle of a... Anyways, the things I do for the internet, right? Anywho, I think that situation becomes very important to consider, that when you come back, you don't have to get... you're not coming back from zero. You're coming back from a strong base, I don't necessarily think that, okay, I did 700 in August on my deadlift. Oh, I come back, this is going to be a fucking 10-year struggle, or 3, 4, 5, 6-year struggle to get it to 700 again. I think it'll be within a few months, and then we go again. Strength won't necessarily go away if you continue to train it in other forms. So as I continue to just talk about it and just kind of feel better about being older, I guess smarter, is that even in the SEALs training and stuff, they'll say the older SEAL's a smarter SEAL. So to my fellow 30 plus and 40 guys, you guys have your own stories to tell. A lot of the stories I've heard from guys in their late to early 40s and all that stuff is not necessary. It's just training smarter. It's some guys, eventually you put so much damage you can't train, and other guys, you eventually just put enough damage that you have to just train smarter. So that's it. I guess that's the biggest point of the story is, as you get older in the sport, start realizing where and what you need to do, and when to actually just say no and stop doing something. And just listen to words of advice from coaches and friends and shit, people that know what they're doing, and to take in consideration. I said it again. God damn it. And to start doing stuff like actually letting off steam on certain things to rebuild and regroup. So I hope this video kind of reaches out to some of you motherfuckers out there that aren't 15 years old and making world records, but are 30 something and trying to be the best in the world. So be smart. Yeah.